IT customer facing. Just venting into the void, I'm 30, almost 31 years old. 3 years ago, my dad killed himself, which pushed me into a brief self-destructive spiral, and then I did a 180 and decided to get my life on track. I went back to school to be an educator. I've been an honors student, but now that I'm in my student teaching, I feel burned. The teacher I'm working with is uncooperative to say the least, and I'm basically just doing grunt work, making copies, running to get her ordered food from the front office, and sitting in the room while other teachers go to the bathroom. I'm supposed to be in partial control, but I can't even get my cooperating teacher to let me know what she's already done with the kids and what they need to know before the standardized tests. The kids weren't even aware I was a student teacher until yesterday. They thought I was an aide. This is just an abridged version of what I've been dealing with. I'm exhausted, I'm miserable, and it feels like even when I'm off, I'm still on. After discussing it with some of my cohorts, I reached out to my supervisor and laid out what's been going on. Now my anxiety is through the roof and I'm questioning everything. I don't want to go tomorrow at all. I don't want to deal with the teacher, the kids, and I feel like NEP is on. I once had W is act out. I don't want to get myself worked up, but I can't stop, and I'm fighting the urge to just call my supervisor and look into dropping out. I feel like my dad had the right idea, and the thought of blowing my brains out in the bathtub is appealing. Maybe I'd be happier at high call center job where I can at least come home and be done. Where my weekends aren't plagued with work, where I can play video games and not feel racked with guilt. Sorry for my endless king, I'm just at a crossroads. I really want to schedule an appointment with a therapist, but I'm just too damn nervous and scared. I don't want to go through the awkward bull and I don't want to have to feel like some 28-year-old effing loser who can't get his S straight and needs a hand. Makes me feel like I belong in a mental ward talking to a therapist. IDK. Sooner the better, man. Personally, going to a therapist helped me realize I don't need a therapist. Or maybe I do. At any rate, I couldn't afford it anymore, so I never found out. If you can afford it, you may as well see how it goes. With my current insurance, all I have to pay is $15 a session apparently. I really just need someone to help me work out my family issues. Have a bad history with my parents, and my friends keep telling me therapy is the only way to decondition me out of the abusive relationship I had with my parents. I don't know if I trust therapists though. I feel like they'll try to control me or spin something or convince me that something that I know I don't want or that I know is a bad idea is actually a good idea. I guess I'll try it, but I swear to God, if they call me insane or try to warp my mind into any other direction except the truth, then I'm F***ing out. They won't call you insane, but they will ask questions about your perception of yourself and try to get you to think differently about things. Be honest when you go in about what you're going through. Okay then, as long as they can't really do anything to me, I'll be fine. Even if things go south, nothing's going to happen. All I'll have to do is pay for the session and leave. They can't hurt me. They can't tell me lies. Only truth. Thanks for the motivation, Anon. For sure, psychologists don't get degrees to F* with people. Be honest, be open, get help for things that are making your mental game a nightmare. Just made the appointment. I'm a paranoid piece of S***, so I'm still kind of concerned after he told me I had to sign some ***ends when I come in. I don't know if they're legally binding or what, but I'm definitely going to read them thoroughly. The guy the first set the appointment with is a psychotherapist with 40-year experience. Old guy, seems alright. Thanks again, Anon. I had a lot of trouble talking myself into it, and I'm glad you helped me take the first step. No problem, bud. There are very few things you can't tell a therapist, but there are some places like harming others and self-harm that they report. Don't quote me on it. I hope it goes well for you. That pride or shame will undo the rest of your life, man, especially if you have a family and refuse to fix an issue you know you have. Get it done, there's no shame in asking for help. Quote, 27 plus thread, goddammit, I'm turning 27 next month. How can I go back, lads? No clue, but if you figure it out, post about it here before you go back. You can't, and every P is **king second is another second of your youth wasting away without you doing anything to justify it. As I'm trying to pull my life together, I fear that I wasted too much time by taking a long way towards my dreams. I'm almost 27, and I feel like I don't have enough time left to accomplish my dreams. I feel like I'm as a failure and that I should have been making games a long while ago. I wanted to make games for a long time. I want to entertain and create. I don't want to just fade away. I'm already having anxiety attacks that just make me freak out about death. I want to do so much. I want to be streamer. I want to be a YouTuber. I don't know. I am wandering aimlessly. I used to go to conventions to host panels and get loaded panel rooms and fans while talking and showcasing about various topics, including, but not limited to, hentai. I know I have some entertainment talent, I have programming talent to make games and all, but all I have to show for all the effort is a few unfinished project files and notebooks full of pseudocode and stories. I have video making experience and an editing portfolio. Although I'm not experienced in Premiere or Final Cut, I don't have the money most of the time. I used to make low-budget music videos on Fiverr, and I made okay extra cash doing that. My YouTube channel is nothing special. Twitch streaming is great, but I'm not a *1 in my bedroom guy. I play off people much better. I always hosted panels with co-hosts. This is no different. This is the same as * that didn't get me the job for a podcast host. They wanted a one-man show. Is it just outclouding my mind? What the F * am I even doing? Quote, I want to be streamer. I want to be a YouTuber. That ship has kinda sailed, don't ya think? With what and everybody and their mum streaming online. I mean, you seem to have a wide skill set though. Making longer * hentai games that never get finished is a good way of making big money. Thanks for the affirmation. It helps. When it comes to focusing on my strengths, am I spread too thin? Like, do I just focus on one talent for a long while? I'm afraid of putting all my eggs in one basket. Also, I appreciate all these words of encouragement. I am in tears at work reading this. Thank you so much. It means a good load to me. Don't mention it. I understand where you're coming from too. I just do what other anons have mentioned and keep using my strengths. Finishing *. There are always ups and downs, but at the end of the day I end up with something to show for it and a bit more experience in my craft. Here, you're not spread too thin now, but if you want to do 4 things at once you'll get burnt out quickly. Conversely, if you put too much energy into any one thing you can easily burn out that way as well. There has to be a manageable medium in everything you do. And maybe for you hyper-focus is something you need to complete tasks. Just be careful. From experience I've burnt myself out of a lot of projects making them the sole focus of my life. Day and night I would obsess over every little piece and detail of something, so much so that I would plan for things that hadn't happened yet. After a few weeks I felt like I was going crazy. Admit to yourself when you're working too hard or too little. Keep that focus and be realistic. It'll very quickly feel like not all of your eggs are in one basket. A small side note, are you physically active? If you do want to do podcast with your friend, you mentioned the 20 minutes outside of town. Turn that into a bike ride for yourself if you can. Get your nervous energy out in a positive way. I always thought exercise was a meme. Then I stopped sleeping from my nerves. Live as full a life for you as possible. Quote, check it down and it seems like you have had experience and have talents and know what you are good at already. You may have too many options and are paralyzed to start and then doing nothing. Maybe you're in a slump. Maybe work on your solo act and do funny commentary that's for Fiverr, like say you'll read whatever people send you, like that old boomer guy who became a meme. Schedule and block out your day, get organized on what you want to work on. You know your weaknesses, so maybe work on balancing those out first. Pick a project and focus on it so there's no fear of too many options. Start with easier projects first, maybe to get into the groove of scheduling and finishing a project, whether it's good or bad. Don't worry about wasting your time, because if you put effort into it, make mistakes, learn and produce something, your time wasn't wasted. You aren't a drug addict shooting heroin on the street. You have worth and value, but are too stressed and disillusioned. You can do it and on. Just make it easier and more organized and build up your self-confidence through completed goals. I'm 29 this year, and years ago I felt like you, although not talented like you or experienced. But I found things that interested me, learned skills, and just keep learning and filling my time with a life I enjoy. If you are bad with money, fix that, and less stress. Bad with time, then fix that and schedule productivity. YouTube is a great resource for motivation, education, skills, habits, and philosophical motivation as well. You got this. Thanks for the affirmation. It helps. When it comes to focusing on my strengths, am I spread too thin? Like, do I just focus on one talent for a long while? I'm afraid of putting all my eggs in one basket. Also, I appreciate all these words of encouragement. I am in tears at work reading this. Thank you so much. It means a good load to me. Here, you're not spread too thin now, but if you want to do 4 things at once you'll get burnt out quickly. Conversely, if you put too much energy into any one thing you can easily burn out that way as well. There has to be a manageable medium in everything you do. And maybe for you hyper-focus is something you need to complete tasks. Just be careful. From experience I've burnt myself out of a lot of projects making them the sole focus of my life. Day and night I would obsess over every little piece and detail of something, so much so that I would plan for things that hadn't happened yet. After a few weeks I felt like I was going crazy. Admit to yourself when you're working too hard or too little. Keep that focus and be realistic. It'll very quickly feel like not all of your eggs are in one basket. A small side note, are you physically active? If you do want to do podcast with your friend, you mentioned the 20 minutes outside of town. Turn that into a bike ride for yourself if you can. Get your nervous energy out in a positive way. I always thought exercise was a meme. Then I stopped sleeping from my nerves. Live as full a life for you as possible. You're anxious because what you've put into your work has yet to give you the satisfaction you expected from it. You're scared you've wasted your time, when in reality you've laid a basic foundation for opportunities you can handle. Don't beat yourself up at 27 because you're not an insanely successful person who hasn't reached the dreams yet. People like that aren't joking when they say, quote, half of it was luck. It's really been a blessing. Does hard work go into it? Of course, but it's not the only thing that gets them there. Focus on your strengths. And when I say focus, I don't mean, okay, I'm good at this, and this. Take those things and apply them as often as possible when you can. You mentioned not getting a job for a podcast because they wanted a one-man show. They thought you were good enough to be on your own. No. I does *UME if someone thought that of you, then finding a friend and doing a podcast with them would be something you'd be great at, and don't conquer the world in one day. What's something you can put energy into every day and be successful at? You've listed a lot, and that's a lot of directions to go when you're where you are. Discipline yourself for something for at least 6 months. See where it takes you. You have the skills to go another direction if things really aren't working how you thought they would. Solid, sober advice. This anon knows his S***. Thanks for the affirmation. It helps when it comes to focusing on my strengths. Am I spread too thin? Like I just focus on one talent for a long while. I'm afraid of putting all my eggs in one basket. Also, I appreciate all these words of encouragement. I am in tears at work reading this. Thank you so much. It means a good load to me. Here. Thanks for the affirmation. It helps when it comes to focusing on my strengths. Am I spread too thin? Like I just focus on one talent for a long while. I'm afraid of putting all my eggs in one basket. Also, I appreciate all these words of encouragement. I am in tears at work reading this. Thank you so much. It means a good load to me. Here. Bump. Quote, it's a wake up 3 hours early and sit around waiting for the day to start Monday. Hell yeah, nothing like holding back trying to drink some beers before the week actually starts. I had stopped myself from buying liquor yesterday for exactly this reason. I used to be pretty bad about it. The last few years it hasn't been an issue, but I miss having a few before work. I'm turning 29 next year. Is it worth sinking another 5 years into tertiary education if I graduate into a high-tier trade, optometry? Gives me 5 years to hopefully find my first girlfriend, although I'm worried about being too old and creepy for college girls. Also, it means I probably can't pay off a house until I'm 50, but that comes with the territory of being born an autist that spent his 20s in a spiral of depression. I'm penniless right now, FYI. Every cent I've earned has gone into therapy and exorbitant dental, orthodontic work getting my head up teeth fixed. Did you get your teeth fixed? Still a work in process. Crowns at $2,000 a pop and braces of 5x that. I'll be presentable by age 30, but I'll feel sh* with empty pockets. College girls are trash. If your school gives solid results into that job market, pursue it. Land a similar high-income 30+ wife, and coast for the rest of your life. Based Monday quote, killed it at work, caught co-worker laughed at all my bad jokes, boss was none the wiser about my shenanigans, only had to deal with like 3 as holes, they should all be made like today. Nice. Quote, just got prescribed an SSRI, what am I in for boys? Literally nothing if your experience is anything like mine. Does it count as losing your virginity if you do penetrate a girl but about 10 minutes in she freaks out and runs to the bathroom and then breaks up with you the next morning? There's something wrong with your D***. Okay, yeah, I want to try dating apps, or why I'm trying them, but holy F***, this is going to be impossible. How much do you J** off? I'm not saying do no fap, but excessive masturbation can make regular X feel pretty sti. And yeah, with a condom there will be less sensation, so there's that as well. Don't death grip and enjoy yourself maybe once or twice a week. Don't feel too bad anon. When I lost my virginity, the girl asked what I was doing, then I ran away because I thought I'd broken some cardinal sin of sexing. I didn't have sex again for like 5 years. Okay, yeah, I want to try dating apps, or why I'm trying them, but holy F asterisk, this is going to be impossible. I'm 33 and a NEET. I've got my excuses, but I've wasted my life. I guess I want your honest advice. At my age, if I'd try really hard with no fun for the next 2 years, could I fake a background, work history, resume, and be able to land a good job? I've spent this last year studying myself. I've no degree, just learning to code, graphic programs, and a second language. Am I on a fool's errand, but can it be done? Literally, all I want in life is this job for some reason. I've never wanted to work asterisk eel now, but I want to work at Oculus, awesome company improving VR technology. I'm in love with it and I want to help enable whole new worlds to be made with it. The work studying is one thing, but I agonize over the question of it. It's too late for me. You can do it today. You get yourself an apprenticeship and your first day will literally be the worst, with each day getting better and better, especially once you hit journeyman in a couple years. And tradesman jobs can't be exported. HVAC should be your first choice, followed by electrician, then plumber, then welder. Welder is always gonna suck, but the pay helps. Agreed. Had a buddy who wanted to be a UFC fighter and things didn't pan out. He basically banged his future on it. Decided to try being an electrician and now he's killing it. Quote, if I try really hard with no fun for the next 2 years, I'm 30 and I often wonder how much more work I need to put in just to get to a point where I don't have to damage my knees for work. All those years wasted in college and uni when I could have just dropped out and end up exactly where I am now, and the last 10 years of working in retail is basically worthless. Quote, it's a 6 inches of snow in the driveway, morning, haven't used my snowblower all winter, let's see what this asterisk can do. Quote, dog moms have it rough, be honest lads, this will get me messages, right?